What's going on, you guys? This is Cooked Vegetables back in here with another podcast for you wonderful people. How you doing, man? I hope everybody's doing absolutely amazing, fantastic, wherever you happen to be in the world. The title of today's podcast is going to be The Consequences of Intimacy with Immoral Women. We'll start off with a quote. For the lips of an immoral woman are sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is as bitter as poison, as dangerous as a double-edged sword. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 3 and 4. As you progress on your journey of masculine purity, you will start to shine like a gem. This spiritual shine that adorns pure men makes them very magnetic. Many brothers on this journey have widely reported a noticeable increase in personal magnetism as they purify their lives. While being more magnetic is a very real boon as you transform into a pure man, it bears mentioning here that your newfound magnetism will attract both good and bad things towards you. As a result, you will need wisdom and discernment to help you navigate the onslaught of opportunities that will show up at your door, office, inbox, DMs, dorm room, etc. You will need to choose wisely in order to avoid unnecessary distractions, or worse still, destruction. One of the major ways that many men meet destruction is through interaction with immoral women. The immoral woman utterly lacks self-control and destroys the life of any man she comes in close contact with. In our current developed world, circa 2024 AD, this accounts for over 70% of women. Chapter 5 in the book of Proverbs accurately describes this woman. She is usually physically beautiful and has a silver tongue. She is very good at pretending to be a decent person when you first meet her. She will shower you with compliments and act as feminine as she thinks you want her to act in the very beginning. She will follow your lead and completely submit to you at first, while carrying out her nefarious plans in the background. If you don't act on the multiple intuitive warning signs you will likely receive in the early stages of this relationship, this sort of woman will eventually usurp your authority and destroy your reputation. And just in case you think you are somehow strong enough to keep such a woman around, please note that even the most powerful men in history who deviated from the will of God have fallen prey to such women. Through many years of personal experience and observation, I have found that the men who fall prey to such a woman often sustain a very predictable set of injuries to their spiritual and physical circumstances. I will list them below. First, a loss of honor. Corrupt women will constantly tempt you to have illicit sex. If you succumb to this temptation for any reason and acquiesce to her advances, you will lower your spiritual ranking. Before you know it, your previous highly respected societal position will falter. You will become the laughingstock of your environment. People who formerly respected you will think you a joke. Just look at the lives of Tiger Woods and Judge Samson from the Bible. Both of these powerful men suffered a devastating loss of honor after allowing such corrupt women to infest their inner sanctums. Next, a loss of fortune or wealth. Another strange effect of allowing a corrupt woman in your life is the effect it has on your financial standing. It doesn't matter how rich you are. If you allow this sort of woman near you, you will lose your fortune. The only explanation I can come up with is that the dark energy that follows such a woman around is so heavy that it somehow affects your physical livelihood and your ability to make money. All of a sudden, you start getting fired from jobs. No one wants to hire you because you cannot think straight. The spooky thing about this scenario is that as your fortunes diminish, hers seem to increase, almost as if she is somehow siphoning your wealth away. If I hadn't experienced this firsthand, I would have been hard-pressed to believe it could be true. Next, a loss of health. These types of corrupt women love to constantly play mental mind games. Once she knows she has you in a compromising position, the mind games will ensue and remain near constant. You will constantly be under the gun, constantly stressed, constantly arguing about completely pointless things. This sort of woman seems to get energized by such toxicity, while you will feel utterly drained by it. She is operating on a whole other frequency than you are, sort of an inverted reality to your own. In her reality, good is bad, right is left, up is down, etc. As you endure silly argument after silly argument and dumb fight after dumb fight, your nervous system gets trained to assume a posture of sympathetic dominance. Once sympathetic dominance kicks in, your sleep cycle will get disturbed. Your hormones will be thrown out of balance. Your digestive efficiency will plummet. Your heart rhythm may get disrupted. Your ability to regulate your bodily temperature might get disrupted, amongst other strange symptoms. Needless to say, this all leads to a very poor state of health, which is tough to come back from. Now, before we go any further, I would like to emphasize that the aim of this article is not to put fear in the hearts of my fellow brothers. After all, we are sons of God, and we do not operate in the spirit of fear. Also, a union with a good woman, i.e. one of God's daughters, is a fantastic thing if one can find it. That being said, please do not go into a relationship with a woman until you have thoroughly vetted her for at least a year to be sure she is not of the type discussed above. If you neglect to do your due diligence because people are guilting you or shaming you and you somehow get entangled with this type of woman, you will surely come to destruction. You wonderful men are such beautiful gifts from God who serve as the pillars upon which every strong civilization is built. Learn to value yourselves as such and be protective of who you give your love and attention to. The Most High does warn us not to cast pearls before swine, nor give what is holy unto the dogs. Be ye wise as serpents, but as harmless as doves. Till next time, brothers, Godspeed and remain blessed. Brother Cooked.